Hello and welcome. My name is Biagio Mazza, Pastoral Associate at St. Sabina Parish in Belton, Missouri, and I'm here to welcome you to another Do You Know series question. Today's Do You Know question is, do you know this religious significance of the Feast of the Epiphany that occurs on January the 6th? Traditionally, the Feast of the Epiphany is celebrated on January the 6th, and in many countries, especially in the United States, it has been moved from January 6th to the Sunday that occurs between January the 2nd and January the 8th. And so we celebrate the Feast of the Epiphany on a Sunday in the United States. In most other European countries, it's celebrated on the actual day of January the 6th. Now, the name Epiphany, or the word Epiphany, is a Greek word that means revelation, appearance, showing. It can mean any of those things. And it was usually associated with the manifestation or the revelation of a God among the people. Actually, the technical term was a theophany, that God manifested God's self to the people, among the people. Or sometimes it was referred to a major dignitary that would come to a particular area, and that would be called his epiphany, his revelation, his coming, his appearance, and so on. So, now, the question always is, why January the 6th? Why was January the 6th chosen? Well, it seems that this occurred in the East, and a number of theories or explanations have been given for why January the 6th. The most popular one that has happened over the centuries, and a number of people have recently questioned it, but was that January the 6th in the East was the day for the winter solstice. And as a result of that, there was, typical of pagan festivals, there was a festival to the god Aeon, or Eon as it's referred to. And this was the god of time and eternity. And it was claimed that on January the 6th he would appear, and he is a god who was born of a virgin. And they claimed, especially in Egypt where it was celebrated, they claimed that the actual river, the Nile River, turned into wine. And so it was a major feast of celebration, and again, typical of Roman celebrations, wine, women, and song flowed all over the place. And as a result, the church looked at it. The Greek church thought that this would be an ideal time to celebrate the appearance or the epiphany of God in our midst in the person of Jesus. And so they chose that day to celebrate what they call Jesus' manifestation to the world, focused on two scriptural stories. One was his baptism, where he was revealed to those around him, and secondly, the wedding feast of Cana, which is, according to John's gospel, was the first miracle that Jesus performed. And the others came to recognize who Jesus was. So these two stories became the focal center celebration of January the 6th in the East. In the West, the focus on from December the 25th was on the birth of Jesus, and manifested primarily to the world through the Magi who came to visit Jesus. And so as a result, the West focused primarily on the manifestation of Jesus through the biblical story of the Magi and their appearance to the Gentiles, Jesus' revelation appearance to the Gentiles, while the East focused primarily on the baptism of Jesus and the wedding feast of Cana as the primary manifestations of Jesus to the world. Of course, there are all sorts of other explanations that have been offered as to why January the 6th was chosen, some of them having to do with different ways that the time was calculated as well as different calendars. But ultimately, we do know by the 4th century, Epiphany was celebrated in both East and West. The East is again focused on the baptism of Jesus and on the wedding feast of Cana as revelations of Christ to the world, whereas the West focused primarily on the birth of Jesus and the manifestation of Jesus to the world through the story of the Magi, which were celebrated on January the 6th as well. Today, interesting enough, in our liturgy, we still maintain that kind of sequence of the three revelations. For example, in the revision of the Second Vatican Council, the liturgical calendar, we have January the 6th as the celebration of the Magi story from the Bible, and it's followed immediately the following Sunday or immediately after the Sunday of Epiphany is followed by the baptism of Jesus. And in lectionary year C, the Sunday after the baptism of Jesus happens to be the wedding feast, the story of the wedding feast of Cana. So we have remnants that go back to the 4th century of combining the three manifestations of Jesus celebrated on January the 6th, namely the manifestation of Jesus through the story of the of the Magi to the Gentiles, and then the Eastern focus of the manifestation of Jesus to the world through his baptism and through the wedding feast at Cana. I hope this has helped you to gain a greater understanding of the religious significance of the Feast of the Epiphany, and I hope that you will return again to more Do You Know questions as we explore the role of the Magi, where they came from, how they developed over the centuries, and the religious significance that they brought to the image of the Epiphany. So I hope you will return again to learn more about our faith and to grow in our knowledge of our faith and traditions. Thank you.